Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Coffee Club podcast. This is episode 71. Starting off, we have a couple of bean shout-outs. Thank you very much for sending them in. First, we have them from Mitchell, who's sending them in from Press House, who I believe he works for them, I'm going to guess. Or maybe he just ordered them. Hard to tell. But he sent us a nice little selection, which we haven't cracked into yet, but we're very excited to. And he also offered us a new nickname for Ollie's favorite, Charles Hicks, which is Chick Hicks.
Chick Hicks.
Which I didn't get the reference.
References from Cars.
It's quite good, actually.
I like it, yeah.
Yeah.
His name
I
is
think we can make it stick.
Chick Hicks.
Well, I had Charles Hickey on my
cheeky
list as well, which was a bit cheeky. It's
Yeah.
a bit of a cheeky Chavez. But I like that. It's a bit different. We're getting to a different area there. So
What are the characteristics of Chick Hicks?
The mustache, mostly.
yeah.
Which is so... I think you're going to have to grow a mustache, Charles.
If we see Charles grow a mustache, then we get the all clear, the green light to call him that name.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of mustaches, we should probably just address it straight away. Drew Bosley's mustache, yes or no?
I saw it in person, very close up. Honestly, it's not terrible. I don't mind it, but it does look like he's just...
It's really dark.
It's too dark.
Yeah,
It's too dark.
he dyes it.
Oh, he dyes it?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense
He's
then.
dyed it black.
I think he dyes his hair blonde, like more blonde, and then he dyes his mustache more dark.
That
I would rather him dye
answers
his
a lot of
mustache
questions.
blonde and then his hair blonde. I think
that answers a lot of questions that I had.
I'm all for it.
You like it?
I would like a mustache a different shade of color, but I'm all for the mustache.
In the words of Woody, right before the race, the idea is to just be as outrageous as possible.
I do
and
like
still
that.
run good.
I do like that. But did you guys see his quote that he gave to Let's Run about the mustache?
Apparently, it was a really good quote. I didn't get to read it, but Jonathan Gold covered it.
I didn't love it just because it really confused me. I was like, I think you're overthinking this one.
He is from NAU.
I think because this is the
So
thing.
he's never overthought anything.
But as soon as he gets asked a question about the mustache, everything just floods through his head.
The reason I said that is because we love Drew Bosley, but this seemed like he was trying to pull just a big Mike Smith-ism. This sounded like Mike Smith was like entering his body, but he's just not quite there because he said the quote. This is paraphrasing because I would not do justice to the actual quote, but he said, if you look next to you on the start line and you see someone with a mustache, you can tell that they got nothing to lose. And if they got nothing to lose, they got nothing to fear. And so I was just like, I think you're thinking a little bit too deep. Like if I see someone with a mustache on the start line next to me, I'm like, oh, cool mustache.
Yeah.
I'm not
Either
like
that or I think, oh, hey, Joe, how you doing?
Yeah.
It's just Joe Cluckers in the corner.
Joe Clucker. I'm not thinking, wow, this guy really has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
He's a fucking psycho.
I did see Drew's mustache and think, oh, you're a Joe Clucker fan. That's great.
Yeah. But from the perspective of just outrageousness on the track, big fan of that. So
Yeah.
Big fan.
so support.
And it clearly works.
It does work, yeah.
He's running unreal times. So shout out to Drew. 7:36 collegiate record. Take that, Yard.
Take that, Yard. You got nothing, Yard. You're washed.
Yeah.
Should I just mention that exactly what I said was going to happen?
Did you predict that?
I predicted that Yard was going to, not necessarily pace, but that Drew was going to get
Oh yeah, you
the
did.
record with Yard in the race, but that Yard was going to beat Drew.
You did predict that.
That's a pretty soft prediction.
Came
It's still
true.
a prediction. It still worked. Came true.
So
We'll get to that though.
yeah, we'll get to that. So thank you, Mitchell, for sending those beans. And then we also have who are these beans from?
So, lovely fella came up to me during the meet in Boston and gave me these beans. Sure, he's his favorite. His team uses these beans.
What's the company?
Heritage is the company. Pilot Coffee Roasters. The blend is Heritage. Pilot Coffee Roasters. Toffee, milk chocolate, and creamy.
Yum.
I think it was a guy who went to school in Boston, but he was from Canada.
Yes, yeah.
These beans are from Canada.
These
somewhere.
are from yes.
I can't remember what
There's a bit in French.
Must be Canada then.
Must be Canada then.
You might have to hit us with a DM and remind us where they're from.
But thank you very much for coming up. Toronto.
Toronto.
Checks
out the 6.
It
Yep.
does.
That's where Drake's from. Fun fact. And Justin Knight.
So these are drunk by Drake.
Yeah, probably.
Drunk by Drake.
Drunk by Drake. I was trying to. That was a bit of a. That's not a tongue twister, but I like it.
Drunk by Drake. Don't get dunked by Drake, but thank you very much.
Dude,
really
you should release a rap song.
Yeah,
Just keep going.
My brain's firing too quickly for this podcast. But in general, Yeah, you guys are in for a treat today. But in general, yeah, thank you so much for coming out and bringing these beans. It's really nice to see that, like, when we said, we'd love to get beans from fans again, that the fans just swarm in with all these great options that we can really enjoy, and we're very, very thankful for it. So thank you very much.
And for everyone who's in our DMs, we're still working out if we're going to get a PO box or not. I just don't know if it's like worth it.
Yeah, I think people definitely understand that we a bit hesitant to give our address out just purely for the fact of privacy reasons, but PO boxes are very expensive. That we just found out. We thought they wouldn't
be
more
expensive than I thought they would.
Yeah, that's probably the way to say it.
I wouldn't say necessarily they're very expensive, more expensive than I thought, and then I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't know if we're at that stage yet.
Maybe we can just hope that we get given enough beans at meets, and then we shout them out, and then it's more like, because that's also very cool.
A little more personal.
A bit more personal. We get to meet the people that actually gave us the beans, and they might have a story behind them and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we'll work on it, but I'm sure we'll have any updates if we do ever end up getting
commit to the PO box when we've really made it. But yeah, thank you for that. And then the other big news, apart from the running stuff, Ollie had a birthday. Happy birthday, Ollie.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
How's it feel to be part of the 26 club?
I'm finally with the boys, 26. I mean, yeah, no, it's pretty good. You'd think, another year older, another year wiser. Yeah, doesn't work like that. But anyway,
Does your IQ go up or down over time, or does it stay level?
My IQ is gradually decreasing. It's probably.
I don't know about gradual. I think it's pretty rapid.
Pretty rapid
decline.
I feel like it's been gradual. I have my spur of moments, and then all of a sudden it has a bit of a decline. But yeah, my intelligence is not great.
We tested the intelligence last night with an escape room.
Hey, I mean, you guys can speak for yourself, because we did the escape room that Morgan was very gracious enough to organise, surprise B-Day, and we had 2 separate groups. I was very lucky because I was in a group with Sage, Yard,
the smart ones.
The smart ones. Pretty much the smart one group. Jonas is Swiss, so he's probably smart.
Did he do a lot?
Honestly, everyone did evenly like a good amount of stuff. We almost broke the record, which was pretty cool. Your guys' escape room was harder because they said it was a 25% success rate, where ours was
without
30% success rate without clues.
Pretty
we
similar.
both did it. We both finished it without clues. So that was a showing that we're not just professional runners, we're professional thinkers.
I don't know about professional, but thinkers.
We think.
Yeah.
I mean,
we don't get paid to think, though.
Each team had one in a
I got paid to think to run.
So they were both just kind of like
they
just dragging the
each
team
other
down a little bit.
Well, NAU engineering grads.
Yeah, Jenna, George's girlfriend, was fantastic. She was great. Sage was great. Yara was great. We had a musical thing, like had to read music near the end. So Yara came in very much handy there.
That is
because no one knew what the fuck was going on.
That is a cool actually.
But we were able to get out with, I think we had an hour. We got out in 35 minutes, 25 minutes to spare, and then we watched you guys. Morgan staring at a wall and George literally sitting in a seat just fiddling with a lock for about 10-15 minutes, and I just watched Stage go, are they going to do anything?
So George and I were in the other room, and we heard them finish because it's just next door, and I was so annoyed that they got done so quickly, and we were still very much like in the middle of our puzzle. Like did have moments where I thought, I don't know if we're going to do this.
I was going to feel pretty bad if we had to ask for a clue.
Yeah, I really didn't want to ask for a clue, but then we pulled through at the end, and our one was pretty evenly stacked as well. It was George, myself, Robbie, Josette, Carmelo, and Mario. So very international. I guess they're both international because our team's very international.
Our team is very international.
But Josette and Robbie,
they were in charge of team morale for the most part. They kept everyone positive.
They kind of like ran it a bit in our room because we got in there and they were like, yeah, we looked up a YouTube video on hints on how to do a escape room, and obviously no one else did that. So then we're like, all right, well, I guess these guys know what's going on, and then we kind of just followed. But
I don't know if that really helped us.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see how you could make escape rooms way more complex than our ones. I would say that was probably a pretty basic one, but nonetheless, actually a very fun activity to do.
I had a great time,
and I think maybe we should try to do some more escape rooms or something when we go to other cities and stuff. I imagine, like, say, going to New York, like, there'd be some crazy fucking escape rooms in New York.
Maybe we could do that next week.
We could do that next week. I mean, that would be a fun thing. I mean, to be honest, the one that we did wasn't necessarily super, like, it wasn't impossibly challenging, like, you couldn't do it. But I liked the idea of we went to different rooms, and then there was different things and different skills that, like, other people showed more prominence in, and I liked that. your one, it was cool, like pretty hard, but it was just you're in just one room. Whereas
Yeah.
I like the ones where you like open a door to another room. There's like all these new clues.
Yeah.
That was cool about the one that we did. And I'm
Well,
sure
we
that
started chained up. We
Yeah.
were chained up, and then we had to find a key to unlock ourselves from the handcuffs.
I mean, I looked at the chains. You could easily break them.
Well, you could just take it off because it was Velcroed, but that would be technically cheating. So there's a bit of honor involved, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool activity. My first time doing it.
My
Ollie's
first
time. George has done it in Madison before.
You done it in Madison?
Mm-hmm.
Shit, we fucking lived in Madison for years and never did.
I didn't do much in
Yeah.
Madison, man.
Except
He's
for-
done laser tag
I
there.
mean,
and
you did do a little.
laser tag and escape rooms.
You did
in
do a little
Madison.
bit in Madison. You won 4 NCAA championships in Madison, but yeah.
Well, that's
Easy,
not true.
easy.
He won one NCAA.
Well, he
Easy,
lived and
easy.
breathed in Madison, so I
Yeah.
count those NCAA championships coming from Madison.
Well, moving on.
We're getting down a
from
rabbit
that.
hole. Yeah.
Yeah, Ollie's birthday. So thank you to everyone who wished him happy birthday
Thank
as
you
well.
guys, appreciate it.
Another year of shenanigans in the books.
Another year
and
of
let's
everyone
keep it going.
Another year of everyone feeling better about their intelligence.
So, obviously, this episode is all going to be about the racing that took place this past weekend because it was when all the squad got to open up with the guys going to BU and the women taking the trip to NY, taking over the East Coast. We'll start off with Boston because that was on the Friday night and just a crazy, crazy meet. It's wild to like start your season like that and then just set the bar so high. Where do you go from here? Just downhill, I guess.
Either downhill or winning global medals.
Or uphill, I guess. Yeah. One of those. Or the same.
Yeah.
Those are your three options. Pick one of them.
Pick one of them, and you're scared of which one will actually be the one that you choose. But
Yeah.
it was pretty crazy to witness it, particularly me as going in as a just not racing. Obviously, I've seen the boys train and they've been working extremely hard, but also just being very, very controlled with where they are in the season, and to see them pull out results like that, it's pretty fucking nuts.
Yeah, well, the bar was set very high initially from the 3K with Yared going and setting the American record at 7:28, which I didn't realize that they were even trying to run nearly that quick.
They weren't.
I don't think they were.
Well,
Yeah.
this is the thing that someone told me is that apparently Ritz quietly told them that they were pacing it for 7:30.
Really?
But maybe that's just a rumor.
Maybe
that
he
would
just
make-
told the pace of that and was
Yeah.
like,
Because
Yara would probably follow it.
I think
Yared would. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yared would not fucking think about it. Just
I
go,
mean,
yeah, right.
but the thing is, it was paced for that. So clearly, Ritz asked for that pacing. Like, who else asked for that pacing?
I don't know.
No one else did, and Ritz had
So-
control of the pacer.
So it
if any-
was, but they just didn't. I guess he just didn't want to make a big deal out of it.
Ritz does that sort of thing though. He'll do that, particularly for somebody like he knows. For an athlete like Yared, I think he knows that the best thing for him would just to be like stick on the pacer, stay relaxed, and close the race hard. Whereas, I bet you he went over to the pacer and said pace it to 7:30, and like
Yeah.
Yared wouldn't think different. Like he'd just be focused on getting through the race and trying to win it because that's
Yeah.
what he's a competitor.
There was like quite a lot of talk the week before of the pace being only 7:37. So maybe that was what Ritz was going for. Like he didn't want everyone. I don't know if people were trying to get in a 7:30 race. He would just tell everyone that it was only going to be 7:37, and then last minute, oh, it's actually a 7:30 race.
That's very cheeky.
Because
of him.
Jonathan Gold was apparently there was something on
Well,
Twitter.
yeah. So Sam
Oh, yeah.
Parsons, Sam Parsoni said that American records and collegiate records like in question or whatever.
Yeah.
on
And then
watch.
Galt's like comes out with his Let's Run notebook and just says, "Look, mate, settle down. They're running 7:37. They'd have to close extremely hard, and it seems very unlikely that they'd have to run 7:29." So
What was his response after? He was actually, he was
he
actually like quite good,
literally,
wasn't
he literally said, "Yeah, like
he just owned up to
he
it.
just owned up to it. Like, yeah, Parsons, you got me here. Like
Yeah.
hashtag."
No, he was good about it.
hashtag
Yeah,
no
that's
cap.
funny.
But on God, all that sort of stuff.
No cap.
He was bussing. Yeah, no, I
Immediately,
couldn't-
we were like watching right up in the stands above the line,
yeah.
and after like 2 laps, we're like, there are 2 minutes.
Yeah.
There are 2 minutes. What's going on?
Where do you go from
Because
here?
like Riss didn't tell us.
I think he ran 4:0.
One,
I think
4:02.
401, and then
Yeah.
Or 4:01,
and then all of a
and then
sudden it was 5
3:57.
minutes.
Yeah. And
Well,
then you're like,
3:57.
fuck. Then you're like, you got like 1K to go.
Yeah,
No,
And then
it's
Yara
not
just went
ridiculous.
there and took the race, and the thing that annoyed me the most, which I'm gonna get into now because I have to. No one knew what the fuck was going on because there was no
It
commentary.
was so funny watching it, and it was so chill.
Joe, myself, like the boys, pretty much the squad, the 5K squad. Giannis, George, me, Joe. We're sitting in the stands. We're going fucking nuts.
We were doing just simple math.
We were screaming because we knew where he was, and we're screaming at We're screaming
just
at Mario.
Keep running 60s.
Yeah. Keep rolling. Like there's going to be a great time for both of them. And when it got to probably 2 laps to go, and then the goose started to let his wings expand, zipping down the speed suit.
I cannot believe that he unzipped his speed suit within 400 to go.
I knew for a fact, I was like, this fucker's going to run.
Almost ate shit doing it.
He could have run 2 seconds quicker if he had done that.
This fucker's going to run 7:28. He's going to fucking destroy the record. And we were screaming. Joe was going nuts, like the hype, everything. And then these people were sitting next to us going, what's going on? And we're like, he's going to break the American record. Like one of the hardest probably American records that are on that distance list. Really hard record. He's going to break it in fucking January. And then people started to get a little bit behind it. No commentary. And then 10 minutes later, we ran down. We congratulated Jared, gave him a good hug. 10 seconds later, 10 minutes later, sorry. The guy on the screen goes, yeah, so section 1 of the 3,000 meters, Jared Nagus, he ran an American record.
Just
that was
so
it.
Casual.
Dude, that's why it's so fucking hard to follow the sport. No one, like, if you're watching this race, and you're a fan of the sport, you know what was going to happen. Like, everyone that was watching it, knew what was happening. And it pissed me off that they didn't have any commentary on it. It really did.
So, the race commentary on FlowTrack was good, but it was very chill for something so amazing. He definitely didn't do justice of how quick he was running from the beginning to the end.
2 sub-4 miles back to back.
I don't remember, like, Galen's video, but I imagine that they were going mental.
They're going hype, yeah.
I guess that is literally the difference though between if you announce that you're going for a record or not. Like that's what makes that difference is like everyone understands what's happening, whereas people here just thought it was just like another
it probably is the thing.
So it does. I guess that's where it matters to announce, call your shots or whatever.
Yeah.
Should also mention Mario.
100%.
34.
7:34. Fucking good time.
So
Another amazing
I don't know
time.
what his PR was. Maybe like 7:46 or something.
Yeah, he said it was like 12-second PB, I think.
Yeah, ran amazing.
Looks great doing it.
I mean, if you're running 7:34 and 7:28 in January, and the way that these boys have been training, they've just joined the group. Like, they're in for an amazing season if they can keep things rolling. Like, they're doing an incredible job.
And the other thing is, like, if you're going to compare them, like, Yared's obviously a little bit more distance-based than Mario. So it's like, for Mario to be that close in a 3K, that's the thing. It's like, man, I mean, obviously, they're both 1,500 meter runners. So that's what the name of the game is once it comes down to it, like in world champs and stuff. But it's like, Yared, obviously 7:28, no matter who you are, is the most amazing thing. But Mario running 7:34, it's like, fuck, it's like a 1,500 meter guy. Like, if you were telling him, like, yeah, you're going to go run 7:34, like, in a random season opener, then you're thinking like, well, fuck, I'm going to have the best season of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like obviously such an amazing spot.
Being able to nail your 2 distances on either side of your actual distance is like a pretty good sign that you're in very good shape. For
very good hands.
Hasn't he run 146?
He's run the 8. Yeah, I think so.
I think he has.
Yeah.
She's 146 and 7:34.
There's another guy that has that kind of range is Whiteman, and Whiteman's world champ. So like he's doing all the right things to get to that goal that he wants, which is to be the best in the world in 1,500. And with Yared, it's just like 7:28. It's just there's no other way you can look around it. It's just an incredible achievement to do that in January. And I think for him, I'm very, very excited to see what he can do because I know last year coming off disappointment from not making the world's team and dealing with a lot of injuries and adversity, he's coming through now. He's loving the training and he's great. He's great fun to have around. I mean, a lovely, lovely bloke. So they both are. So it's really lovely to see them both succeed so well in that 3K. And it definitely makes me now realize how much we've grown as a group too. Because like we've just signed. I remember when we talked about signing these 2 blokes, particularly for the men's team, and we're thinking, wow, we're very lucky to get these guys. And then now they're producing these results. It's just like, dude, this team is just crazy now, and it's a pretty privileged position to be in to be able to talk about them as teammates and gloat in their results. So
yeah, no, 100%, it's so good. And then we already mentioned it, but then Drew Boz was 7:36 collegiate record, which I don't know if like I'm just like not exposed to the meter stuff, but I feel like that was like kind of like not that hyped up. Like 7:36 is a collegiate.
Very amazing. You know why it's not hyped up? I think it's because of Yared.
Yeah.
I think Yared overshadowed it quite a bit, which is like
it's fair
makes
enough.
sense because he was the old record holder. runs 7:28, breaks the American record, and then Bosley comes in 7:36 and runs NCAA record, beating Yared's old time from last year. I mean, yeah, but I think the one thing that will matter is that Drew knows like where he's at. Like he's run one of the fastest 3Ks in NCAA history.
Well, the fastest.
Pretty sure that's what record means.
I mean, what about like oversized 300 tracks? Is there anybody run quicker than that?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, there you go, the fastest. But yeah, I just wasn't sure because sometimes they have like the 300 track that don't count.
I wonder if do 300 tracks count for collegiate records?
I think it's 200.
I think
banks.
they have a separate thing. It's like best or something, collegiate best.
Collegiate best. Shit. Like because Cheserek's was a collegiate best when he ran 351.
Are you sure he ran that? Didn't he run that at Boston?
No, he ran that in Seattle.
Oh, we're gonna have to. I don't remember that.
Sounds like that one is fact checking.
When did he do that?
Citrus Mackin did that. Well, I'm pretty sure he ran 351 to run the.
I don't think he did, because I was really into the sport at that time.
I'm pretty sure he ran 352 as well.
I thought he ran his records at Boston.
I thought it was at Washington.
The like 3-person race.
Well, no, that was the year after.
That was when he ran 249.
That was the next year. But I mean, I can look him up on Tifas. Maybe he did. I mean, he went to Oregon, so they went and raced at the what's that place called?
Dempsey?
The Dempsey all the time. But I mean, well, the thing with Drew Bosley, getting back to him, is that like I don't think you would have. I mean, we'll see what happens when the championship racing comes around, but he's like you think of him as like a distance guy, and I mean, everyone like distance guys can be really good at the 3K, but it's like for him to be running that quick in the 3K.
I honestly think 10K is his best event.
That's the thing. So it's like you're running 7:36 for the.
It means you got the range, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean.
352.
Where did Cheswick run 352? BU last chance. I feel like I remember that. Yeah.
This is best 52. I thought he ran 51.
I think he ran. I feel like I think he ran 52. I don't know. Was that the collegiate record? I feel like he must have been.
I think it was, yeah. Until Cooper got it. I'm pretty sure.
Checks out. But I mean, they're all amazing times, and yeah. So that 3K was crazy. Also, our boy Sam Atkins, 7:31. Sam Atkins is the most is elusive the right word? Like he just comes out of nowhere and runs 7:31 just so casually, and then like the fact that he lives and trains like 20 minutes away from us. I'm told.
By himself.
I'm told. Like I've never seen him, so I don't know. But
he does that. I think he trains by himself too. I don't think he has any.
What is he doing to be able to run 7:31 out there on his own?
He must be crushing some sessions, but like, where does he even work out? Like he's not.
He's been at Niwot. I've seen him post and seen photos of him at Niwot track, but I don't know. I mean, this time of the year with the weather and stuff, maybe he's on training camp. I think Joe spoke to him briefly when we were at the track, and he said he's been going back and forth from the UK to try and get a visa. So he could be in the UK. Ideal. No, but he ran 7:31 doing that. So in general, he must be doing some pretty good training wherever he is. Yeah. If he's in Colorado or if he's back in the UK. So it's also always awesome to see him. He broke Mo Farah's indoor 3K record.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
And I think he was 1 second off. I think the European record is 7:30. So I think Mario was telling me about it. It's pretty close.
Is that McCall?
It was McCall last year.
Yeah. And New Balance?
Yeah. That was also an insane race to watch.
He
looked like he was rigging from 200 out.
Yeah.
I mean,
that compared to watching Yared just fucking glide across the line.
That was the thing watching it as well is Yared. I mean, and Mario, like all those guys, to be honest, I don't know if it's just running on the BU track or like the camera angles, everyone makes it look so easy running 60-second like 400 pace. It's crazy how good they look doing it. And like he's got like that funny style. Like it's kind of hard to describe how he runs, but it's just like he just moves so quickly, so nicely, like across the ground. I don't know how he does it, but he made it look.
Takes like 10 strides per lap.
He made it look very easy, and the fact that he unzipped his he unzipped his speed suit down in the last 400 of the race is like, how are you doing that? Like, what is?
It's because he needed extra speed.
Yeah,
he's like, I need a little extra.
He hated the speed suit. He's never wearing it again.
Oh, he hated it.
Well, if you see his Instagram post,
he looks so good in it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But he says in his Instagram post, which is honestly the best Instagram post from the meets by far, he said, Don't cry because whatever that quote is. Don't cry because it happens. Smile. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Rest in peace, speed suit. 27th of January 2023 to the 27th of January 2023. So he's confirmed on his Instagram he's not wearing the speed suit anymore. The reason why he zipped it down was because it was uncomfortable, and he zipped it down to give him more space around his chest.
That makes it even more wild.
Yeah. So
I'm sad to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm sad to hear that.
He did look very good in it, but yeah, so that was the 3K. Getting it starting off just like, I don't know. Yeah, imagine when you guys, I feel like when you see a performance like that, when you're at the meet and you still have to go race, you're kind of like in a bit of shock and you're just like, fuck. Like, it's kind of a good thing, I guess, but also you just like,
definitely good
you're
thing
just
for
like in
Joe.
shock a little bit, but then you're like, all right, now like it's time to like,
I think
go race.
Speaking of, I don't know, George can obviously speak of his own aspect of it, but I feel like for the boys, like they work out with Yarra, they did a great workout with him. It definitely gives you confidence seeing that if he's able to do that with the training we've been doing, like I'm definitely in great shape. I'm confident in my training. I can go out and race and give it the best effort I can on the day. So you can get that aspect of it
Both
as well.
him and Mario, because like if they're in 720 and 734 shape, then you know that translates to like if you're the distance guy for a 5K, if you can run that, then you can run a really fucking quick 5K. So
yeah,
it does feel pretty good, I imagine. But then the 5K was probably the most hyped up event.
well, it got commentary.
It had commentary.
Yeah,
and I don't even know what the storylines were, like, because Joe was...
I think Joe had said on Citrus that he was going to break 13.
That was
and I think
what
it
he
was...
said.
I think Woody had just announced that he was leaving Bowerman, like, that
Yeah.
week. So I think that was, like, kind of a big story. I think he announced it, and then his entry popped up in BU.
Yeah, he was a
People were
late entry.
All right, this is going to be his first race, not for Bowerman. I feel like those are the main two things.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously those two guys are such amazing athletes, so them going at it with the pacing of Ollie Hall at the BU track is obviously, that's going to be a very juicy one. And then from the get-go, the race play went, I don't know if it went how you expected, but it was very hot. But I don't know, the guys looked pretty good, but there was how many people were in that race? It did feel like there was quite a lot of bodies on the track, but maybe that's just
there was
normal.
a decent amount of people in that race. I mean,
I don't
to be
think
honest,
too
there
many
was,
or
there was
anything,
three people that I know of, Pacers plus Sam Atkin.
Yeah, the fact that there were 3 paces made it look like there were more.
Wait, who was the other pacer?
Cruz Culpepper.
Yeah.
He paced for 1200 to 1600.
So it was Cruz, you, and then who else?
Well, Sam Atkin jumped in front of me for 2 laps, then dropped out, and then I continued till 3400, and then Joe clipped me, and I thought, I better get off the track, which I found out later was because he actually got clipped from Woody, and then he clipped me, so there was a bit of a shuffle, but yeah, so that was the pacing. So those 3 guys are out of the race, but there was at least 15 plus maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the numbers. I mean, Citrus can do all that number shit, but no, I mean, going in, it was definitely one of those things where I'm more nervous being a pacer than a racer, because, you know, obviously the boys are relying on me to get them through in a good pace, and the plan was 750. It was projected to the world that it was 755, but Ritz pulled me aside and said he wanted 753 to 752. We ended up running 747.
Very quick.
A lot quicker. Way quicker than what Grant went through for 12:53. So it was going to be one of those races where you're just going to have to knuckle in, grind, and hang on, which really only suited 2 of the runners, Woody and Joe. And once I stepped off the trap, I was able to watch the boys go through, and like just seeing Joe put himself through that much pain and hurt, because you know how badly he wanted that sub 13, just made me very proud of him. Like I think he said the last 3 laps, he was just making sure he could stay on the track, because he was really, really hurting. But
he was going for it, because he was, so once you stepped off, then he was leading Woody. Apologies, that was Gus exiting the studio in a very loud manner.
He always has to do that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He always has to do that.
He's very elegant, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a ballerina.
He's a ballerina with his toes.
But once, Joe was leading out Woody, and I feel like when you're in that, like, obviously you don't want to be leading out a runner who you know is that good, but at that point it's like you're at BU, it's the first race, you're trying to run a really fucking quick time, like all you're gonna do is grind it out. Like, like if you Joe is still very happy to come second, run 12:54 at the end of the day. So he's like, that's what I'm going to go do. But man, I don't know how Woody does this every time, because watching the race, you're looking at it happen and you're saying, all right, Woody's gonna like look kind of bad, and then he's gonna have some massive kick down at the end, and it's gonna be amazing. And then 800 to go when Joe, I don't know, I haven't seen the splits, but I'm guessing he must have sped up a bit, like started ramping it up. Like he ended up dropping Woody back quite a bit to the point where when you're watching it, you're like, oh, Joe's won this. Like somehow you always still like lose like belief that Woody is going to get it done. And then on the last lap, I guess Joe would probably say he misjudged it a little bit, because you want to be closing like pretty quick, and I think he ended up closing at 31. Like he just like was putting it all out there, and then Woody had his classic 26-second last lap, and he just came from like so far back and just fucking finished so quick, and running 12:51 American record. Big, like, all the credit to him. I guess we can touch on more like his situation, because it's kind of interesting. But yeah, it was just crazy watching it and going from like being like, oh, Woody's gonna do the Woody thing, and then still it happening where I'm like, oh no, Joe's won this. Like he's beaten him, and then he still comes back and wins it somehow.
Well, I mean, even during watching and yelling at Joe, George and Giannis, I was yelling at Joe to get the American record winning. Like I didn't even think Woody was in it anymore, because of just the way the pace was so hot. But then like you said, then Woody just comes out and does what Woody does and closes like a freight train. So it was pretty. I mean, it's always tough to see. You want your teammate to win. You want him to get that reward from there. But I mean, yeah, second 12:54. Joe's definitely very, very, very happy with that. So and to see Woody win and break the American record in his situation and his circumstance was also a very cool thing to see.
Another win for Mike Smith.
Another win for Mike Smith.
Which I guess he's not technically coached by Mike Smith, but he's part of. Oh, so when I was cross training, I did last week. I did listen to Mike Smith podcast, and I loved the question. He got the question about Mike Smith Elite, and he said, I can't remember what his answer was exactly, but he was like, first off, it's not a team. It's just a collection of professionals that I coach. He was very adamant that he doesn't coach a team, and just saying.
I love that he said that, but then did you also see Woody's post where he said, thanks to Mike Smith and his team?
Yeah. It's like, come on, man. We know what's going on here.
I have to be sorry with you, Mike Smith. It's a fucking team. You have you have a pro team, like a collection of athletes. That just sounds like union.
I love that. I love calling it a team, but not necessarily because it annoys him. I don't want to just annoy Mike Smith.
But I know.
But it's funny that it does annoy him.
Okay.
And then we can just.
I think he has to say it.
Okay. Bauman is a team. It's a collection of athletes. Union, collection of athletes. OTC, collection of OEC, collection of athletes. Mike Smith Elite, collection of athletes. It's a fucking team.
Yeah.
It is. It's a pro team. He has one of the best teams, like, in the US. And he's always going to play that card because he doesn't want Papa Adidas from NAU probably pit. Like, they're probably like, why are you coaching Galen Rupp from Nike? Why are you coaching Woody Kincaid from Nike? Why are you coaching Luis from Hoka? Maybe they're getting annoyed and he's trying to say, like, they're not a team, they're a collection. Maybe that's just like a PR thing.
I think he also has to say it because of NAU, because he's like the head, like, not even to do with the brand side of it, just because like his job is to coach the NAU team, and this other thing has like organically just happened.
Is that what Jerry's going to say about Bauman now? Because Jerry's like,
it's a very different situation.
Yeah, I know, but that's what Jerry. Well, I think Jerry's coaching Oregon.
No, don't worry. Jerry can do it all. Jerry coaches multiple teams.
Shoemaker.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem for
Shoemaker
him.
says, yeah. I'm coaching the Oregon guys, but the Bauman, they're just a collection of athletes. They're just a collection of athletes.
No,
did we already talk about that? Let's Run or something that was like Woody Kincaid leaves professional coaching college team to join coaching college team.
I did not see that. That is very funny though.
Great wording.
But
I paraphrased. That was a shit version of it, but you get the gist.
You can probably find it, yeah.
That is actually very funny when you put it like that. I mean,
leaves coach with not enough time for athletes.
To join a coach that does not have enough time for athletes.
Coaching.
It is very funny when you put it like that. I guess the difference is that one is. I mean, see, this isn't actually different because I was going to say one trains in Flagstaff, but Bauman also trains in Flagstaff.
They're literally there.
Like 5 months of the year. But I guess with Mike, because Bauman is a real team in terms of like having the brand, it like there's certain like things that are attached to it. Whereas with Mike Smith, I guess you have a lot of freedom, I guess, to do whatever you want, especially with him,
100%.
who he's still sorting stuff out. And I don't even know what he's situated, like, between him and Mike Smith, what, if they have an agreement. Oh, actually, he did say that.
Do you reckon Mike knows who he is?
No, probably not. He's just like, he's this guy
just like jumping into
Some guy
Luis's
texts me
workout.
asking if he can come to a workout.
Yeah. He did say that for now, all he knows for certain is that he's there training until the 10K. So I guess still got to work the rest of that stuff out. But
It's hard not to like an athlete leaving Bowerman and then their first race they take an American record from Bowerman.
yeah. Well, Woody's
No,
also
it's fucking sick, bro.
Woody's
It's sick. It's
Woody's
like great.
also like the most likable
Yeah.
athlete. I mean, I'm biased because I just love him
The thing
as a
is,
person.
okay, I love Grant as well. Like I
Yeah,
do.
very
Love,
likable.
nothing against Grant.
I just
likable.
love the sport needs stories like this. Like the story of Woody saying, well, Woody going, I'm departing from Bowerman team, going to somebody else. Now they're rivals. Takes a record away from them. That's a fucking great story.
Especially when you hear when he was saying that.
Hey, what
if it's
Jerry
true,
said?
if Jerry's telling him he's throwing away his career by leaving,
I mean, even
That's a
saying that,
ridiculous
that's
thing
the
to say.
icing on the fucking cake,
how can
man.
you not support him after that?
That's a ridiculous. Like,
Like,
to
you
hear
have
that from
to
a
be Team
coach,
Woody.
man.
You can't be Team Bowerman after that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be like, fuck yeah, I want Woody to
Shoemaker
beat
better
everyone on
start.
Bowerman.
100%.
Get under the what's a shoemaker clobber?
What
Is
do
it
you
a clobber that makes shoes?
Cobbler.
Shoe cobbler. Shoe cobbler.
Yeah, should go back to the cobbler because like Woody fucking served him, bro. That was sick. Like that's
What was I? Wait, what did
so
you
lost.
just say?
I don't know, bro. I was just excited. Like it's
No,
it's just
fair.
very cool to see. Like because at one point in the career, and like when I was going through college, Bowerman were like the team. You know, like that was a team to join if you wanted to be successful.
They
And
were the
Woody's-
good guys.
Well, I mean, there's still really good guys on that team, like lovely blokes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, to have an athlete have that experience and share it, then go to Mike Smith Elite, train with that team. Sorry, collection of athletes. Train with that collection of athletes. Go and break the fucking American record, the first race.
Yeah.
It's such a cool story, man. That makes the sport hype.
Yeah.
Because then you know for a fact, like Grant, lovely bloke, but he's in the back of his head probably thinking, I'm going to go get that fucking record back. And then you go
Yeah.
through the cycle.
Yeah, and
It's exciting.
Woody's gets to race a bunch now because one of the things he said as well was that he just wants to race more, and now he's going to do a bunch of races, which is sick because he's very exciting to watch race. Also, you got my favorite thing about him is probably his Instagram bio. I think I've told you guys this before.
Yeah.
The last line of his Instagram bio, because he's very sarcastic, which is what I love. The last line of his Instagram bio is, "I literally won the U.S. Olympic Trials 10K." It's just like
so
what,
funny.
what pro runner does that?
No one does.
I literally won the U.S. Olympic Trials 10K. It's like
It's so funny.
so good. So yeah,
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, like, it's just going
Damn,
to be
I
great.
hate how much I like Woody now.
yeah.
It's just going to be
It's
great
hilarious.
because I think like Woody is obviously going to be hopefully having an incredible season, and then you have Grant coming off an incredible season with Bowerman. Like he's going to come in guns blazing, I imagine.
Well, Grant's. I think no matter what, Grant's going to just
Yeah.
do.
he's going to
Grant
crush,
Fisher.
and he's going to be Bowerman, and Woody's going to be
What
Mike
if
Smith
Woody
Elite or whatever he is, and they're going to have like this, and Joe Klecker's going to pop in. Joe literally won the US World Trials for YouTube.
literally, he should do that.
literally won.
That would be very
I
funny.
literally
US
won.
trials
I
in
literally
the
bitch kicked Grant Fisher for that. No, he didn't actually bitch kick.
No, he won that from the front.
He won that from the front, baby. I literally won from the front. The 10K,
Yeah.
the 10K at the US Championships. Like those three together. Actually, there was a cool photo that Diamond League posted. Sorry, I'm going on rants. I think it was
What Athletics posted it, I think.
What
Or
Athletics or Diamond League?
Diamond League,
Maybe
yeah.
either way, it was one of the top dogs.
One of the governing bodies.
Well, the government.
or whatever they
the
are.
government posted it.
Sebco posted it.
Seb Coe posted it. Lord Coe. May he reign for 1,000 years. I think it was Joe, Grant,
Louis.
Louis G, and
Woody, yeah.
like those
Just
four
looking
guys.
like, wait, was it Woody?
I
Or
haven't
was it-
seen that.
I think it was.
I think
They're
it
just
was
looking like
Woody.
absolute stallions out
Yeah,
there.
and it was just like it looked like the cover of the Backstreet Boys. Like it was just fucking sick.
So
What would you do
what a
if
time to
Woody
be alive.
wrote Yared's American record this weekend?
Uh,
Speaking of doing more races, Woody
that
is
also
apparently
is-
doing New Balance.
that also is good for the sport because if you look at it, like he breaks that record, he owns that record, and then Yared, I could tell, be going, oh man, I gotta go run faster now.
I wouldn't even care, man.
No, yeah.
Because Yared already got paid for breaking his record,
Yeah.
and so he'd be like, "Oh, sweet, I can."
Well,
I can
Yared's
get
probably
paid
gonna
again."
go break another record at Milrose, so you
Oh
know.
man, that's
Grant's definitely coming back for that 5K record though.
Oh, 100%. He's
You
come
know
back
he
for
is.
that. He's
yeah.
coming.
Are they? I guess we don't even know when they're going for a quick 5K in the indoor season, if they are, or if
Word
Grant
is
is
Valentine,
Valentine.
apparently.
Yeah, but I also heard word that they're never leaving Eugene, so they might do a time trial at the Eugene track.
Well, that's definitely happening outdoors.
It's definitely happening.
There's
Yeah,
no
The
doubt
teardrop
about it.
invitational.
they're just gonna turn under the the teardrop. They're just gonna put an indoor
Do you
track
know why it's
under
called
the
the teardrop
stands.
invitational? Because it'll be fucking raining during that time when they're running the fucking dump truck.
It definitely will be.
Yeah.
Which, you know, the extra oxygen, performance enhancing.
I mean, Jerry's probably thinking about it right now, calculating the right day in Eugene to do it because he doesn't want to travel anywhere. So he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'll just fucking do
the
it.
perfect conditions.
The perfect conditions. World record conditions, as they say.
World record conditions. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we love Woody. And getting back to the 5K, we haven't even talked about George. I'm sorry. We haven't talked about your experience
I
yet.
forgot I was in it. honestly.
So we got George. Should we talk
And we
about
had
Jonas
Jonas.
first?
Well, I mean, kind of,
We were kind of doing the same thing.
yeah.
Well,
Well, so
yeah.
you went out pretty quick. I haven't looked at your exact splits, but your
Yeah.
first K
I was
and
kind of.
2K was
There were
pretty
like a
quick.
few people that like thought about going at the front. Dylan Jacobs fully went for it.
Lalo
I
was
think he
up there.
PR'd in the 3K apparently. 7:48.
I believe it.
Very ballsy. Lalo medium went for it. He was probably lasted the next longest, and then I was kind of with Lalo at the least going for it out of those three of people that like couldn't decide which group,
Yeah.
and it didn't go well for any of us.
It
I
never
haven't
really,
looked
it
at my
never really
splits
does when you,
Yeah.
when you like. I mean, that's just like the toughest spot to be in, you know. When,
Yeah, I mean, my takeaway. I mean, I'm not. I said beforehand. I mean, shit. It would have been really nice to run super fast. I was disappointed, and I mean, just watching the race, it obviously played out well for two people, and there were so many people in that race that had the ability to get the standard. Like, I fully believe that.
Yeah.
Mainly being like Dylan Jacobs. That dude, I'm sure, was in shape to run 13:05.
Mm-hmm.
He went for it. Tried to run 12:55
Hmm.
and ended up running 13:11 because that's
Yeah,
just what happens, you
That's
know.
how it goes.
Similar to Lalo. Lalo made running 13:11 look pretty easy in December in like a perfectly accelerating race, and then goes out 10 seconds faster and ends up running 10 seconds slower.
Yeah.
Just because that's how it goes.
Yeah.
And then so not a single other person in the race got the standard. It wasn't a race to hit the standard. It was a race to
To run
12:50.
1250s for sure. And yeah,
Just
I
how
mean,
it goes sometimes.
it is how it goes. It seems like running at Boston, like ramping it up and closing hard is the best way to do it. Maybe that's true of all 5Ks. Maybe not just Boston, but that seems like the way to do it there. And then
I even think Joe could have run 12:54 and not been blacked out.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just
Not done it that way.
It's just,
Yeah.
that's the hardest.
I
way
mean,
to
it was
do it.
so impressive watching him do it that way. Full credit to him,
mm-hmm.
and he got what he deserved. The 12:54. It's incredible. But that's a hard way to do it
Yeah.
for sure.
Definitely.
And then
And
Jonas.
I feel bad for Jonas. Like,
Yeah.
He's
See,
in really good shape.
Jonas really, I could tell watching him that he really tried to do it like starting off more conservative because he was really
Mhm.
far back,
yeah,
which
so-
meant he was probably still like quicker than pace because it was like that he wanted to run, and then he ramped it up. But then the 5K is just tough because I know like the 4th K was really slow for you
Mhm.
guys when everyone's like in a race like that where everyone's hurting. Like the 4th K is gonna be like the hardest bit. I mean, it always is, and then. Yeah, it's just like so. I mean, he ended up doing great because he came through and ran 13:10, which is his second fastest ever. I think he ran. Is he 13:08 a year ago?
13:07.
Or 7.
13:07, yeah.
And then also got to shout out Ben Flanagan, had a great
Yeah,
run as
great
well.
run.
13:11.
So a lot of guys like ran really well around there, but I 100% agree with you that these are all guys that probably could have run 5 seconds quicker and felt better doing it
Mhm.
in a different style race. But I mean, at the end of the day, when someone's going out and running the American record, it's like, well,
Can't really complain.
you can't really complain. Like that's just like a very amazing race still, and yeah, great pacing from Ollie taking him through. Yeah, you said you stepped off when you felt Joe. Did you feel pretty good going that pace for that long?
I probably would have gone 4K.
Yeah,
But Ritz kept telling me when I was doing laps, he's like one more, like he was kind of just like I was waiting for him to tell me to get off because
yeah,
the one thing that I didn't want to do is impede on those two because when I only knew how quick they were going when I saw the 3K mark because that's the only mark I could not like really realistically think of where I'm at, and we went through in 7:47, which for me is a 3K PB indoors because my PB indoors is 7:48.
damn.
And when I look at that, I'm like, well,
You didn't think about the splits beforehand?
no, well, I was looking at the splits, but I'm not reading. Like, I'm mostly just trying to focus and relax and not stress too much, and I'm relying on Ritz.
Was Rich calling out splits?
No, he was just telling me where I'm at. He's like, you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Keep it rolling. Stay the same. Like I'm relying on Ritz
That's
telling
good.
me like if I need to pick it up or if I need to slow down. I'm relying on Ritz. So that was the way I wanted to approach the pacing. I didn't want to look at a clock and then start to panic and overthink. I thought that would just be detrimental.
That's probably how I'd want to do it as well. I find it really hard to run.
But
like,
I think once that
clock.
pace was hot from the start and it stayed hot, I just kept it rolling and Dathan just said, yeah, one more, and then once I came around the bend to hit the straight, I think it was about 3,400 going through, and Joe clipped me. I thought, well, I might get out of the way now, so I went wide, and then I waited for Dathan to signal me if he wanted me to jump in to help George or Giannis, and then Dathan just said no, shut it down. So
I forgot that we talked about you staying in it.
Well, he told me before the race, like he said, I might tell you to jump in and help George and Giannis if there's a separation. But at that point, I think Dathan just said, no, just don't do it. Because there's only a couple of seconds where you get that time to think about it. But no, I felt really good, pretty relaxed. And just leading those boys to that hot pace, it's a different feeling than what you usually feel when you race. So it was, it was good.
That makes sense. So, yeah, that was the BU meet and all the guys getting out there and getting after it. First race of the season. Obviously, we said before, like the bar set so high, so amazing, and congrats to everyone. And then the next day we had, before we move on from Boston, did you guys end up going to Punjab Palace?
No,
We did not.
What the hell?
And the only person that had boba tea was Joe.
What the
He had
hell?
boba tea twice.
You
Oh,
did?
did you have boba tea?
No, I didn't. That
Yeah.
probably explains it, honestly.
That explains a lot.
Except Joe didn't sleep either night because both times he got caffeinated boba tea.
Wait,
So he was just lying.
before the race?
Yeah, he had two.
Both the night before and 2 nights before. He got caffeinated boba tea at like
At
10
nighttime?
o'clock. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's kind of wild. Who does that?
Man doesn't need sleep, apparently.
Well, that's how you
He
run
said there's only
12:54.
caffeine in it if you think there's caffeine in it.
I do believe that is true because, I'm the type of person who cuts off drinking coffee or any caffeinated beverage at around like 1 or 2. And sometimes I'll have like caffeine after that and I'll still sleep fine. But then the days when I don't know, some days I don't sleep fine and then I just blame it on the caffeine when maybe it's just like other stuff going on. So I do buy into that theory. 100%.
No Punjab Palace. Salty pig instead.
Salty pig was lovely.
Very freaking good.
Yeah, really good.
So it's too bad. Next time when Morgs is there, we'll go to the Punjab Palace and get some boba
Get some
tea.
boba tea.
Yeah, do the full shebang. But yeah, so the next day was Fritz made the early morning flight over to New York to join all the ladies as they raced at the Dr. Sanders Invitational at the Armory, which another... Gus just knocked over another chair off camera. Gus is going crazy right now. He just spent... So while Ollie was gone...
This is a Gus update?
This is the Gus update. I think he figured out how to play on his own. Because a big thing with Gus is that he's very dependent on people. And so in our first house, we had like a lovely backyard for him to play in, but he wouldn't play in it on his own. He needed someone out there to play with him. And if everyone was inside and he was outside, he would just stand by the door. He wouldn't go play. But I think he's discovered to play outside because he would take some trips out there. Because normally if he wants to go outside, it's to pee.
Yeah.
But now he stands by the door to go out to also play because he'll spend a good 10, 15 minutes out there, which he just did. You guys that are watching might have seen that. And it's very impressive because this is like the coldest day ever as well. It's like, I think it's like 1 degrees right now,
it's
Fahrenheit.
1 Fahrenheit.
Like negative 15 Celsius right now. And Gus was just playing outside, just eating sticks.
I don't know if that's a good sign or if that's like depressing that he's figured out how to be lonely on his own outside.
He had to figure it out eventually. It's a part of growing up, becoming
He's
independent. I
dating
think.
himself.
Yeah.
Well, this is the problem with Gus, though, is that like you give him a lot of attention and he wants to like go away. Like he doesn't want to be around you a little bit. But then if you ignore him, and then he wants all the attention. So it's like he just wants it when he doesn't get it kind of thing.
You just gotta play hard to get.
I think he's figuring out when he wants to have his time and when he wants to be with everyone.
I wonder what he was doing
He's
out there.
maturing. So I can tell you because I watch him. He just goes. So I don't know how, but a massive branch fell in our yard, and he just goes and eats it. He just goes and like bites with his sticks and just like gnaws on them and just rips different sticks off and then eats them. And
He also has just such a thick layer of fat on him right now that
Can't feel
he's
anything.
so well insulated.
He can't feel it.
He's still pretty good looking for a bulldog though.
Yeah. Do they get uglier?
Yeah, when they get older.
Oh gosh.
He's still
We're
got
just
a
going off.
waist,
Yeah.
barely. But
He's
no,
looking
his routine now in the morning's quite good though because he knows to not sleep in the bed, and then when it's time to get up to go for a wee, he'll come and wake me, do a little snoot in my face, and then go to the door and then lean out and just go like that, and then I just let him out. And
Really?
Yeah.
So he sleeps off the bed and then he jumps onto the bed to wake you up to go pee.
Yeah.
He's very smart.
Yeah, he's learning.
That's very impressive.
Yeah.
Good job, Gus.
Good job,
Huge
guys.
brain.
So-
Jumbo brain Gus.
Yeah, that's the Gus update for everyone. He's doing all right. But so New York, Dr. Sanders invite. The ladies were racing. We had Alicia and Cinta in the mile.
Mm-hmm.
Josette was meant to be in it, but she had a bit of a hamstring strain, like nothing too serious. But so she decided not to race. And then we had Sage in the 1K, which was billed as an American record attempt, which we discussed last week on the podcast because it took us by surprise. And her race got a little more exciting because, well, I guess not more exciting. There's this different type of exciting when Mrs. Was it Miss or Mrs. I don't know. RJ Wilson got added to the field.
RJ Wilson, yeah.
She got added to the field, which is like, I'm sure everyone or a lot of people know this, but the Armory is like her track because she's from New York.
Yeah,
She's won so many races there. She always finds a way to win a race there.
Isn't it like 10 years?
Something like that.
I think it's like she hasn't been beaten in New York in 10 years.
No, 13.
Really?
Yeah.
something crazy.
Is
13
it
years.
19 races
19
over 13 years or something?
19.
How old was she 13 years ago? She's not very old.
She's not very old.
Wait.
She must be
Maybe it was 13 consecutive races.
Oh.
I don't know.
It was a long
It was
time.
a weird. The stat was 19 races indoors. She's never lost.
Yeah.
There is one race that David Monty keeps bringing up that she was DQ'd from in 2017.
Classic Monty.
But that's a DQ. That doesn't matter. Every other race she's won.
Yeah.
So her stats are pretty impressive. And honestly, looking at Sage and how well she's training and racing, if anyone was going to break that streak now, it was Sage Hurtaklecker. But watching the race, I got to watch a bit of it at the airport. We watched it at the airport, right?
We did. We watched the whole thing.
At the Lufthansa lounge.
Nice.
Jonas got it in without.
It was really
Jonas got us
funny,
in.
actually.
Yeah, so the backstory behind this, Jonas had like a 25-minute argument with the hostess that was like at the door of the Lufthansa
We walked-
lounge.
God. No cap.
No cap.
2 miles.
Yeah.
No,
2 miles.
to this lounge.
Yeah.
More. Maybe more.
Yaron was claiming that we need to get an Uber back to the
Yeah.
gate. 'cause
We
it
were
was, like,
honestly
too long.
thinking of like going. It was like one of those airports where there's like a couple of securities, and like we went in one end and then walked as far as you could in the
Oh
airport.
no, that's the
And then we were
worst.
thinking of like going out of security and then Ubering back around and going back through again.
That's the worst.
It was a very nice lounge.
It was a
I
very
think
nice
worth
lounge.
it.
But
That's
yeah.
the backstory.
So Jonas goes up to her and goes, "I'm a senator. Let me in."
This is to the person that's letting people into the lounge.
to the
at the
Lufthansa
front,
lounge.
at the
and
desk.
what Jonas means to say is that he's a senator in status for Swiss.
Swiss
So
Airlines.
Swiss has the status where you can be a senator status.
It's called.
But
senator
she
status.
probably thought that he was an actual senator, and she's
He's claiming he's actual senator,
Yeah.
so he should just
I'm,
get
a,
it.
U- I'm a US senator.
so she's like, well, that doesn't qualify you to come to the lounge. So what qualifies to get into that lounge is to be a Star Alliance Gold member, which we all are, bar Mario. And Mario, we can allow guests, so Mario would come in with us. And that wasn't explained for 25 minutes until
Big language barrier.
Joe went up and said, "Did you tell her that we're Star Alliance Gold members?" And then Jonas mentioned it.
Was
and
that
then she
really
saw
what
us all in.
happened?
Yeah.
I thought she also wanted us to be flying. We weren't even flying
No,
Lufthansa.
so she was saying that for his status with Swiss, he had to be flying Lufthansa. Because he just said he's a senator with Swiss. He didn't say he was a Star Alliance Gold member, which is, if you're a Star Alliance Gold member, you can get into a lot of lounges.
Yeah.
So he used the wrong term. He said that he was a senator, and she didn't understand. Anyway, getting back to the main story,
all very
we watched
complicated.
Sage. The pacing was a little bit hot from the start. I think 29-second first 200.
Yeah.
I feel bad for that girl.
She
I
was
think
shitting herself.
I think she was really nervous
Yeah.
with like being in charge of an
RG
American
Wilson and
record attempt.
fucking Sage.
Yeah,
Hurtaklecker.
that's
Those
a-
are
that's
two
a lot of
ladies you do
pressure.
not want to disappoint.
Nah.
You
I
don't
think
want to
she ran
disappoint those two
her
ladies.
whole. Did you see she didn't cut in?
Really?
She ran the
Oh,
whole
yeah,
200 in lane 6 and then just never comes back into camera shot.
Yeah.
Feel bad for her.
Why would you like?
She was
There's
stressed
so
out.
much pressure on her. She was a high schooler, right?
Yeah,
She looks so young.
if you're pacing an American record attempt, it's nice to give a high school an opportunity, but you should give it to someone that's a bit more experienced.
I think
Because
Sensei should have just done it.
Yeah.
She was in
Yeah.
there anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
like the inexperience is what hurts paces, and I feel like as a high schooler, like I don't think you have many experiences pacing RG
No.
Wilson and Sage Herder.
You always want to be you always are very thankful to your pacemaker, but
100%.
sometimes it's just like, yeah, you gotta
If you are
sort that out.
that, like, imagine being that young and getting asked to pace like an American.
I'd be
record
shitting
of
myself.
One of your like freaking hero.
Yeah, imagine if
athletes or something.
we're like, oh yeah, Matt Centrowitz wants to run the American record in the mile. Can you pace him for a K?
Back when we were like 4 or 5 miles.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, I don't even know if I can get to like a foot like in front of him. Like it's stressful. So
Yeah,
definitely feel for it. But Sage ran it, from the front.
she
tried
went
to
for it.
Yeah.
go for it, and then RG just played it conservative, and then came through in the last 200 meters together.
And they missed the record by like a second or two.
Yep.
Right.
I think IJ
They were
was
pretty
235.
close.
I think the record was 234.
Yeah.
So
But
I, mean,
I
still a great
think
outcome.
Sage was disappointed, but I think like she's still extremely fit, and she's looking forward to Millrose, which is going to be a big one for her. So
Mhm. And then the other big race was obviously the mile, which coming off Alicia's 4:26 1600 time trial here, I think she was very ready to go for that. And then it was Cinta's first race as a pro, I guess, under Dathan, being after being coached. I guess technically she raced at the end of last season, but like actually
in Europe, yeah.
being coached by him, so she was like pretty excited to get after it. And then I think that one kind of, I mean, for Alicia, I didn't watch it. I looked at the splits. She just like went to the front and just.
I think the pacer
Right.
also only for some reason made it 400 meters.
Well, I looked at the splits were not that pretty. Like in terms of this time, it wasn't going too quick. Like it was like they went really slow from like either 200 to 600 or 400 to 800 or something. Like they were only like 34s,
I think Alicia
35s.
ended up passing. I think she went
Yeah.
out really hard, tried to slow down to compensate, and then Alicia passed the pacer,
Yeah,
and then just led the rest.
yeah.
So
So
not a pretty.
Another American NCAA, I have to say American NCAA record was broken by Caitlin Tui,
yeah.
24. She was just behind Alicia, right?
Was it 24, 26?
I think it was 424. Yeah.
424.
I think the record was 26.
Because they were
by
all
Jenny
right
Simpson.
behind Alicia.
Yeah.
The three of them.
I think
Yeah.
Jenny Simpson had that record, right? Sister Smack and check it.
yeah.
But I think yeah. So she ran
Well,
that,
Ali-
which was amazing.
Yeah,
And
Alicia
then
won in
Alicia won in
4:23,
23. Yep.
and then Cinta was fourth in 28,
28.
which is a solid first race for her as well.
Italian record.
Italian
Take it.
record,
Might as well take it.
yeah, far out, not too bad.
Not too shabby.
And yeah, I mean that was kind of it for that meet from us.
Yeah. Alicia paced the 3K.
How do you feel about
Here we go.
the Bolt still getting
Can you explain this to me?
the auto
So this
without
is
winning?
Why did he get it?
Because he beat everyone
But
that
Drew.
wasn't already in the one. Like, because Drew was already in the field, he was the top finisher that wasn't in the field.
Oh,
So I think Ray told him before the race, like, if you beat
everyone but Drew.
everyone but Drew,
Or beat Drew. You get it.
I'll put you in it.
it kind of takes away a bit from the mystique of
So
Yeah,
first place gets to go.
This is the thing. Always very encouraging and very excited to see Eric get an opportunity to want to make a mile. I saw his interview after the race and said that like when he was a kid he used to want to make a mile and like watch Legat and like how much it meant to him, like that type of race, to be able to race it himself is, you know, a unique privilege and something he's looked up to doing. However, you have a wild card and you have a system in place. Maybe don't put it in that way. Like I think you're right. It loses the purpose of it, because if you win that race, you get the card. If you don't get it, right?
I'm happy that he's running the mile.
I am happy
yeah,
too.
you could still just put him in it.
Or you just don't let Drew run.
Yeah.
You're only allowed to
Just
run
take
this
Drew out.
race if you are not already.
But
they
this is
wanna
the
make
thing.
it.
If it wasn't Eric and it was somebody else that got second, would they also get the spot?
Probably
Sure.
not.
Well, see, that would be messed up then. If
See-
if there's a bit of like,
But the thing is, we would
Probably
never
not.
know, because if Eric got
Yeah, you
third,
wouldn't
for
know.
example, we wouldn't know what they said to him.
who did come third?
I'm not
Who
sure.
was also like in the running?
I'm not sure.
There was
but-
only like 3 guys with Drew.
But
three of them.
I mean, at the end of the day, I guess like what you're looking at is Eric Holt is just like getting himself into that race. If you think about it, because
and he deserves to be in that race.
he does.
I agree with George in the sense that if you have that opportunity of a wild card, maybe don't put Drew. I mean, obviously, Drew, if Drew wants to run that race, he has the right to run that race, but maybe try and convince Drew not to run that race so that you have. Or maybe get Drew to run like a mile in Boston or something. Like maybe do something else, because if you can get all those people in that field who aren't confirmed for the Wanamaker Mile, it gives it more excitement because
I see what you're saying. Yeah, if someone's
one
already
person's
in the
gonna
race,
get that spot, and that person's going to be extremely excited.
It makes it less exciting.
If you say that there's a spot up for grabs and Drew's already, probably the favorite for this race, already has a spot, it kind of loses that excitement.
Yeah.
So I'm not dissing for Drew to go into that race and say you can't do that race.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the way you put a wild card in is that everybody in that race doesn't have a spot for that race, and whoever gets that number one win gets the spot for Wanamaker. Like, that to me is like a cool way to do it. But I'm very excited for Eric to be at the Wanamaker Mile. I think it'll be cool for him.
Yeah, well deserved.
Well deserved. It's going to be a cracker of a race. Ritz said it's going to be bonkers. According to Citrus Mag. Yeah, he just can't get over it. Ritz is so excited. He's
do you know who I think is ready
for a week?
Do you know who I think is also ready for Milrose
Mike
after last weekend?
What do you think, Cade?
No. Freaking Sonic the Hedgehog, Sam Tanner.
Oh.
After his
true
354 win in
Very true.
New Zealand.
He's coming back, and then he's
rain.
And then he's doing.
It was pouring with rain, and he said it was super easy.
No, I mean,
And
I don't doubt it. The dude's a freaking.
He said it was super easy. That's always a good sign.
Super easy.
It's always a good sign when you win a race and run a good time. You say, "That was super easy."
Yeah.
Well, that's
I reckon
good.
he's gonna go fast.
That's good for him because I have information that mile at Wanamaker is going to be at a very, very hot pace. So he'll jump on the train and have a good time.
Secret information.
Information that people will find out eventually.
Nick Willis's record is under 3.
I think Sam Tanner. I'd love to see Sam Tanner break Nick Willis's record because I'd love to see Nick tweet about it and saying, well, he was wearing the super shoes and I ran this race in the rain in 1976. It's like, dude, just fucking give him the record. Say congratulations. Well done, Sam Tanner. You've done an amazing job breaking my record. Love to see your future in the sport.
That's probably what he was saying.
Yeah.
He's a pretty gracious guy. I don't think...
He's like, how did he get access to the New York track? I don't understand.
He's a pretty gracious guy.
That makes him feel like would have looked nice.
Yeah, it makes him feel like would have did amazing in that mile. I'm excited for that Wanamaker Mile. In general though, I think that's it. Other than that mile, Eric Holt getting the Wanamaker spot, awesome. Comparative to meets though, just to mention to you boys and Morgan, just looking at it from an outside perspective, not going to either. Boston had a lot of hype, but even New York, it looked a bit quiet. From what I saw in the film,
really quiet. Everyone's waiting for Milrose.
Do you reckon that's the thing? Is that Milrose is like because Boston? I feel like even you have Valentine, you have the Terrier, and then you have the opener. They always seem packed because obviously
because so many people are racing.
Entries. They're all
so many people
exactly because everyone wants to run.
Running.
People want to run fast there, get PBs, right?
Dude, there was like heat 17 of the 3K going on.
People have that nostalgia now with the track saying like, I ran fast there, I got to go back and run fast there because that's the track where you can run fast. So Boston has this now history where I feel like it's always going to be so busy and so packed and so exciting. So like
the Armory is like that as well. I've never
always have that.
I've never been to the Armory and been like, wow, this place is pretty relaxed.
Yeah. But the thing is,
it feels pretty chilling.
It's always so hectic.
Milrose will always have that. But I remember running Dr. Sanders when I was in college. I remember it being crazy. Whereas when I looked at it,
well, back then I think it was the Armory Invitational. Do you remember? It used to be, that's the one that we used to go to, and it was slightly, well, I guess it is the same thing now, but I think some of the years when we got to go to it, there was a bit more of a pro meet attached to it.
It was quite hyped up.
Like, I guess there was a pretty good pro meet attached to this one, but I don't know. I guess maybe it's just different perspectives, but I'm sure it's still pretty exciting.
Yeah, I that's the one thing I'm worried about is Dr. Sanders getting less and less, reception. Like Milrose is always going to be the Milrose, but like the Boston meets are all just getting busier and busier.
Speaking of wildcard, I feel like we ignored the fact there was a women's one. Does Whitney Morgan now get the wildcard?
Is she already entered in the mile though? I don't know. She is a
well,
mile.
wouldn't Alicia get it?
Yeah, but then surely she turns it down to run the 3K. Does that mean it goes to the next person?
I don't think it does necessarily. We got to read the fine print.
Alicia now has to run the mile.
No, she's
maybe we'll find the fine print in it. Maybe they'll get announced in the next few days. Who knows?
The fine print is just like
Ray.
It's just actually whatever Ray Flynn wants to do.
whatever Ray thinks is right.
Well, so Alicia did say this before the race. She said, "What's the point of a wild card where everyone in this race that wants to run Milrose is already racing Milrose?"
Well, that's what I mentioned.
maybe her, Whitney, and Kaylin too, are they all in the 3K?
I'm sure.
I bet they
well,
are.
I'm sure they're all racing Milrose already.
Yeah, I
And I
think
could,
they are.
Like, cause Cinta's racing. Like, they're all racing it. So I don't know. Maybe in the women's it just didn't make as much sense
Yeah.
to talk about it even
I bet
because
those 3 are all in the 3K.
yeah. So
Well,
whatever. That was New York. Great job to the ladies out there, getting the season opened in a very good fashion. This podcast is already, I think we're a bit past the hour mark, so we'll zoom through just a couple of other things that we want to talk about. The Lilac meat, we just wanted to roast them for...
we just want to talk about how good a meet that was.
No, it was like...
For the amount of media around it, yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
So I tuned in to watch the women's 1500 and the commentary, it was all good, but it's just like, for some reason, I don't know if they had a filter or it's just the color of the track. It was just gray and there's just no one. The stands were all on just one side, and so you could see the stands when the camera was facing, but apart from it, it just looked like the most dead meat ever. And I've been told that track is just like terrible to run on.
Slow tracks.
It's at like a bit of altitude and it's got like all steel framing or something.
So it's just like depressing out
So
there.
the benefits of
Not a good
going
place.
to the Lilac meet is points
Just get the points, yeah.
and money, right? Because they said they had good prize money.
And because it's the Union
And
home
the Union
meet.
home meet,
Home
which
meet.
is in Spokane, Washington.
Yeah, that checks out.
How far
Spokane.
away is that from Denver?
From Denver? Oh,
Because
that's
Pete,
a-
Pete Julian's from Denver, so if it's
no,
a
but
home
Union
meet,
is based in Portland, though.
okay, so how far is that from
Austin,
Portland?
Florida. Or is it Austin?
No, Raven Rogers is in Boston. I don't know where Donovan is. I think Donovan's
So
in
whose
Florida.
home meet is it? Which one of these?
It's, I don't fucking know, George. Now I'm confused. Okay, Portland. We're just going to say Portland's the home of Union, right?
Still not the same place as Spokane, no.
I think it's a different
But,
state.
no, but how far
It's
away
a
is
di-
it? I'm just thinking there's a home
It's in a
meet.
different state.
So
for
that
a
means
start.
Penn realizes our home meet.
I'm going to approximate a 6-hour drive.
All right. I think
We'll
that
look it
means
up.
the way that they talked about it, saying it was a home meet, and their second home meet as a team, and team was mentioned a lot in the conversations. But in general, does that mean Penn is our home meet? Because we have
I might
on
start calling
is-
it that.
5 hours, 36 drive.
so it's not that far away.
Close enough.
Philly's probably a little further than that for
Yeah.
us.
Wait, Penrose is our home meet. What are you guys talking about?
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Is it our home meet?
Yes.
Okay, so that's our home meet.
From now
Deal.
on.
So their home meet is 5 hours, 30 minutes away. Our home meet is probably a lot further away.
It's a
5
90-minute
hours, 30
flight.
minute flight. What's the difference?
Our home meet, so they beat us in that for the kind of home meet kind of vibe. They're definitely closer than our one. Our one's kind of far away. But yeah, the Lilac meet, like,
We don't have anything intelligent to say about it.
I just
Just
have
some
an
good
opinion.
performances. Some
I just
good
have opinion.
performances.
Like, if you're saying that, like, you know, come to this meet, it's a great meet, it's great with pros, like, this is like for real racing. I think there was one quote, real racing. It's like, that's all well and good and stuff, but it's kind of hard to deter athletes away from Boston and New York to go to this meet when the incentives are the track's shit and you might get good points and money. Whereas, like, I don't think points money probably matters to college students, and points, but I feel like running a fast time is probably trumping them at the moment. Don't you guys think? Like, if you're gonna run a sub 13 minutes or win $5,000 and get silver label points, what are you choosing?
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to go with the sub 13.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what people are dealing with, right? So they're probably upset because there's not enough hype around a Lilac meet.
Yeah, I don't think you can, like, I think we can make a bit of fun of it, but I think still it's like, it's a good thing. And I'm sure a lot of people went and enjoyed it and had a good time spectating. Like, some pretty amazing athletes going out there and running very
Well,
well.
there was
but
a
it's
1K record broken out there, right?
No,
was
that
in
was in
Boston.
Boston.
Nice try, buddy. Nice try, buddy. That was in Boston.
I mean, there's a lot of records
Nice try.
broken this week. I thought there might have been one at the
They're all
Lilac.
broken at Boston.
I don't think.
Were they actually all broken
No
at
one's
Boston?
broken records.
Yes.
That's
I'm
crazy.
pretty sure they're all broken at
That's
Boston.
Not
crazy,
getting
bro.
into it. Hers was the.
Oh,
Hers
true.
was,
That was
hers
New
was
York.
New York. Yeah.
Which also is a great track to
It
break
is.
records
It's a
at.
good track.
It's a very good track.
So
Well-
I mean, I think it was. I think I don't know what the metrics for success were, but because the thing is, we don't actually know what the experience was for someone that went and watched it in person. Maybe it was an amazing time, and maybe it really inspired some kids and they loved it. So
Yeah.
we can't say that much about
Yeah.
it.
No,
Apart
we-
from just
we-
like on TV, I was just saying it looked very.
It looks
depressing.
very depressing.
It
on
looks
TV.
very grey.
We're just gonna make fun of it because we have that little banter between Union and us.
Yeah,
You know?
I
That
flipped
little love.
onto. I looked over at Yared's phone for a little bit, and he was watching Holcocker tempo a 3K, and you couldn't see the neck. I don't know. It was just like 10 seconds ahead. Like it wasn't racing.
Yeah.
It's not really.
He probably was
racing.
doing a workout or something, I imagine. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just. I feel like it just sucks. Like you have. Why couldn't they hold it another weekend where you could go?
Well, the
It
thing
is-
is, you wouldn't go anyway, would you?
No, but I'm thinking of other athletes.
Okay, imagine.
Because like other
Indoors
athletes
is
that want
so
to
short,
race.
though. Indoors is so short.
Yeah, that's a good
what are you
point.
gonna
It's a
Do
good
we
point.
need Boston, New York, Lilac, UW, and Arkansas in one weekend?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Imagine
That's
if there was
5 meets.
only, if you condense that.
But there's not even that many weekends. Think about it. Like, think about when Europeans is. There's like 5 weekends until then.
It's true, but
So
you
you
just
wanna
end
have
up
all
with
the races
5
right
watered
now.
down. You end up with 5 watered down meets. I mean,
How many
Yeah.
like
weekends
if
is it
those
till,
people couldn't go to,
But all these
3
meets,
of them.
all these meets are just invitationals. They're not like Milrose. Like Milrose is
true.
Milrose, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
These are all just invitationals for people to get their season going.
But I'm sure Lilac is like wants to be like Milrose. Like it wants to be a big meet where it's like pros
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah,
very very
that's not gonna
selective.
I guess every meet
I
wants.
know,
every
but,
meet
like-
wants to be like Milrose.
I know, yeah.
Except Boston.
But like,
they're finally doing it.
how can Lilac become Milrose? Like, what's the
I
best
don't-
option
It's
for
not
that?
going to. It never will be.
Yeah, I know. Well,
It's just like, I don't know. I think.
I'm trying to think of positives to take out of it.
Yeah.
Meet, you know what I mean? Because like if Union lasts for 10 to 20 to 30 years and they still have the Lilac meet, then it has a bit of heritage, a bit of history
Yeah.
to it. Can it get to that level?
I think they're just trying to do something cool, like that's local and just race.
Local, like 5.5 hours away. Local.
I guess they're based in Arizona right now. I think so.
That's the thing. Like,
I guess it's not even that close.
Because they probably have a lot of
Should've said in
fans in
Phoenix.
Portland.
Yeah.
Well, they could have in Phoenix, but they probably have a lot of fans in Portland.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good track, I think.
I thought you
So
said the
they
track
gotta
was
use-
shit.
Well, I don't think it's good for running quick,
Is this a good
but I
spectator
think it's
track?
like
I think it's
a
nice.
good facility.
Like it's new.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a new good facility. is
like
what
the
I mean.
Michigan track, the
Yeah.
University of Michigan indoor track.
It's a nice facility. Like I don't like running quick there. Oh, that sucked.
Yeah,
to race there.
we just had PTSD for Morgan running at the University of Michigan.
But yeah, so
Either way, good for the sport.
I think it is.
Yeah, good for the sport.
I think indoors at the end of the day, like I
Indoors
think
is fun.
Boston and New York are you're never gonna compare to them when you're talking about indoors. Like it's like East Coast, like it's
What I
just
do want
electric.
though, and I'm just thinking about it now, DMR, Union, BTC,
Oh, let's
OTC,
not get this going
OAC.
again. Let's not get this going.
Indoors, we can run it at Lilac, we can run it anywhere. Just set it up.
Please
The winner gets 50%. No, not 50%. That's way too much. 10% of stock in the opposing company.
You know
So,
how
for
much,
example, if we
you know how much
take
10% of
this
stock is?
Yeah.
That's $1 billion.
Yeah, and if we beat
On.
Nike, we get all that money.
That's like how much of Nike? That's probably like $100 billion.
Yeah, why would we do that? That's pretty good.
I'm down. Why not? That's a great
It's
idea.
not my money.
Yeah,
Next thing you know, yeah, not, like if the Union guys beat us, then they're like, oh, they get 10% of on stock.
yeah. That's fine. This is why you're in ideas, man. Ollie. You come up with the good stuff. The good stuff. So that's the Lilac meet, and then got to give a shout out to the UW, the University of Washington boys, for having 8 guys break 4 in the same race. I never thought that would happen in my existence.
I don't think NAU's had 8 sub 4 hours
It's just-
ever.
It's so ridiculous, and obviously Joe Waskin at the front running 3:51, which isn't. Yeah, I mean that's fucking quick. Like
That's extremely quick for a college kid.
Yeah, like,
Fucking crazy.
holy
quick.
shit! So
Yeah.
just an amazing.
Well,
Just to have just think about that. Like you have 8 guys on your team that are breaking 4 in this literally the same race.
Yeah. Would have waxed my ass. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
But it's like
Crazy what college kids are doing these days. It's pretty awesome to see. I mean, like something like that where you see like the Washington jersey and there's just a shit ton of them running like a stampede from like it's just like a movie. It's just
Yeah.
crazy. So no, it's
Unreal.
awesome to see.
so. Shout out to them getting that done. But yeah, I think that's kind of it for today. We spent a good amount of time talking about all the Boston trip in New York and all that. I think probably a good place to wrap it up there. Anything else?
So,
What, you want to say something?
No, I'm starting to feel bad what I said about the Lilac.
I think you're a little mean to
It's a
them.
bit mean, yeah.
'Cause, like,
I feel bad about that. I'm sorry.
They're trying to do their best.
They are
It's
trying
not
to do
easy.
their best,
It's
but
not easy.
I definitely hope I just don't. I'm a bit annoyed if they're like calling people out for not turning up to their meet.
But they
Because
didn't
it's like
do
you
that,
have other
did they?
options.
I think they kind of were doing that.
They all were they? Okay.
Well,
I don't know.
was
though,
it
that's the thing.
hashtag banter?
It probably was hashtag banter. I think they were just trying to G up people to
Yeah.
get them to come, to compete.
Yeah.
I
But
thought Pete was kind of saying that if you weren't going there, then you didn't care about racing or something.
yeah,
So
Oh.
you just wanted to do time trials. Along those lines.
well, to be honest, Pete.
Might be paraphrasing here.
Well, if Pete did say that, he's actually got a point because
Yeah.
it's true. Everyone was doing a time trial, so either way, he's done right. But people have picked the time trial option, and we make fun of the time trial option too. So
hey, you can do the time trial option, and then in
race
2
the
weeks you
last-
go race Milrose.
Yeah,
you
there
know?
you go, there you go.
You know, I think that's a nice balance
But
right there.
Lilac, I apologize to the Lilac Corporation.
Official
Union
apology.
United Corporation too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good that we sorted that out.
Yeah.
And with that, I
I feel a
think
lot better now.
I actually feel better as well. It's very
Conscience
cathartic.
absolutely clear.
Yeah. My conscience is very, very, very zen at the moment. I'm feeling good about myself right now.
Well, I'm happy that that's where we ended up today.
Yeah.
And with that, I think that's it for episode 71 of the podcast. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next week. Awesome.